Camera's on.
Hey, here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Hialeah Planning and Zoning Board meeting for Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Everyone, please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Lord, please watch over us as we go through these items tonight. We ask that you grant us your wisdom and hold us by the hand as we go through these items. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Meeting guidelines. The following guidelines apply to today's Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Any person, whether participating via the web platform, telephonic conferencing, or physical presence at City Hall, interested in making comments or posing questions on any item on the agenda may do so during the meeting. Members of the public may hear the meeting live through telephonic conferencing using any telephone or cellular phone service. A smart device or computer are not necessary to participate in the meeting if you join by phone. All persons participating via the web platform will be muted during the meeting until called upon to be heard. Participation through Zoom requires a computer or smart mobile device with a microphone and web camera. The participant may elect to participate in the meeting using audio only or appear through both audio and video. The video function of all our participants appearing through video will be turned off until called upon to be heard. All lobbyists must register with the Planning and Zoning Board prior to item being heard. A maximum of 4 speakers in favor and 4 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the Planning and Zoning Board on any item. Each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Item number 1, roll call. Mr. D. Perez,
Here.
Mr. Gamon,
Here.
Mr. Iglesias,
Here.
Mr. Jimenez is absent. Mr. Ulloa is absent. Mr. Casanova,
Here.
Mrs. Enriquez is absent. We have a quorum.
Okay.
Item number 2, approval of Planning and Zoning Board summary agenda of September 20th, 2023 as submitted.
Motion to approve. Second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Casanova, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Ramon,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mr. Casanova,
Yes.
Mr. D. Perez.
Yes.
Item has been approved. Administration of oath to all applicants and anyone who will be speaking before the board on any item.
Anyone that's going to speak in front of the board, please stand, raise your right hand. Todas las personas que van a prestar testamento frente a nosotros necesitan prestar juramento.
Even if you have a question.
Even if you have a question, yes. Raise your right hand. It doesn't bother, no te duele. Okay, go ahead.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth before this board?
Okay, thank you. Let the record show the answer was on there from.
A written decision and resolution will be prepared and presented for review to the city council. The city council is authorized to affirm with conditions, or override the decisions by resolution. After this resolution is adopted, contact a member of the city clerk's office to obtain a copy of the final decision and resolution. Upon your receipt of the final decision and resolution, contact the building department to obtain your required building permit. Summary minutes or a copy of the audio file of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to the city council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the city council at a scheduled meeting of Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. Item number 3, variance permit to allow 56 parking spaces where 82 parking spaces are required for a proposed new big box pharmacy. Property is located at 845 East Okeechobee Road, Hialeah Zone C2, Liberal Retail Commercial District. Applicant, Felix M. Lasarte, Esquire.
Even Felix.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Felix Lasarte with offices at 3250 Northeast First Avenue. Joining me is the team, the development team from Bose. Seems like I come here every week with a new item for this project, but it's just been the way that it's been advertised and the way they've put it together. So simply,
Let's read it into the record.
sure, absolutely.
The property in this application is located on Okeechobee Road between Lejeune Road and Southeast Eighth Court and is zoned C2. This is a recently consolidated site where a pharmacy is proposed to be built, replacing an old motel and automotive-oriented use building. The proposal includes a new 15,378 square foot big box building with frontage along Okeechobee Road and entrance facing the parking lot fronting Southeast Eighth Court. As part of the development, the applicant will contribute to the improvement of Three Friends Park by building a decorative aluminum fence around the two park sites on the block, building enhanced sidewalks with shade trees and providing 8 parallel parking spaces along the north-south driveway that separates the two park sites on the block. The applicant is before the city requesting a variance to allow 56 parking spaces where 82 parking spaces are required. Since the site is adjacent to a residential neighborhood and 4 blocks west of the Tri-Rail station, it is expected that some customers will walk to the site, reducing the parking demand. The foot traffic is encouraged by design with direct pedestrian access from the sidewalk on Southeast 8th Court and a bike rack next to it, close to the store's entrance. The business location at the intersection of 2 main thoroughfares will attract many passing by cars, stopping at the site mainly for convenience purposes that will keep them in the store for brief periods of time, allowing a quick parking space turnaround. Accordingly, the proposed 56 parking spaces should suffice to satisfy the parking demand. However, due to the significant parking deficit, the 8 proposed parallel parking spaces for the park will be at risk of being utilized as extended time parking by employees instead of remaining open for park visitors. To avoid this situation, signs shall be posted to restrict the parking spaces to park visitors and limit the time occupancy to 30 minutes. Recommendation: approval with the condition that signs are installed to keep parking spaces available to park visitors.
Thank you. Let the record show that Mr. Jimenez has arrived and he is present and ready to go.
Correct.
Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, we could assure you that the site, the way that we're proposing works. I've included a colorized site plan, so you could kind of see how the whole area is going to be transformed. There are plenty of green spaces, so it's going to be, you're going to have the CVS, the community use, and then you're going to have obviously the park and the entrance to the park, which is where the parallel parking is going to exist, which is where we are going to put in the signage, which staff wants us to put as a condition that you can only have 30-minute parking there. I also put together, and I sent over to you an aerial that shows an existing Navarro CVS on East 25th Street and Lejeune Road. And you can see that really the parking is actually, there's too much parking on that site. The parking requirements that the city has for this type of use are really excessive. So we could actually work with the similar parking ratios that we have. This site was actually given a variance by this same board, and we're asking for a similar variance to what we had asked on that site on 25th Street. And as you can see, it works well. There's plenty of parking. Usually the trips here are very short, people come in and out. So with that, I'll conclude my presentation.
Thank you, Felix. Chris, if I understand this correctly, we're proposing to have the applicant share the parking available with the park patrons. Is that what?
So with the recommendation, what they're trying to limit is the patrons that are to be considered using the park
Correct.
to be parking within the Navarro itself.
Okay.
So we're trying to limit whoever uses each one of the services to a certain amount of time. What Deborah was saying with the recommendation was that the parking that the 56 spaces that they're proposing is enough.
Okay.
This is not like a grocery store or anything. It's in and out service. It's a small convenience store if you need some toilet paper late at night or anything like that.
Unfortunately, they're not going to get any cafe.
No.
You know, I'm telling you, Felix, man, you done did it there. You got me all worked up. You got me all worked up with the cafeteria, and all of a sudden you pull the rug from under me. Man, that's bad news. All right, so do you understand that
Yes,
in essence, you be sharing the parking with your customers and the park patrons?
yeah, I think really what she was trying to say is this, that since we're asking for a variance, she believes that if there's ever a shortage of parking, because we're asking for this variance, that then people would naturally gravitate
Mm.
to park in this parallel parking. So in order to limit, right, the usage of that parking area, which is really intended for the park, she wanted us to put a 30-minute restriction on it. So we're going to comply with that, but we believe that with what we have on our site, it's more than enough parking
Okay.
to accommodate the store
So you.
without having to, without even having to touch any of this additional parallel parking.
Good deal. Comments or questions?
No?
Any comments or questions from the audience? Is there? Come on up. Come on up. Name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Rita Sarmiento, and I'm located in the property 2022 Southeast 12th Street, which is adjacent to the backyard of the park
Mhm.
that gentleman was presenting. And I just wanted to know, how is this gonna affect my homestead? Because this is my only homestead. And I just wanted to know that if all these plans had nothing to do with my property, because what I'm hearing here now, this is why I came to be informed. Because it'll be very detrimental for me. Because it is my homestead. So I wanted to know, and this is why I joined to get clarifications that this has nothing to do with my property.
Absolutely. Felix, would you like to chime in on that? In the past, developers have come into an area and they purchased properties that they want to develop. I don't think they have approached you to buy your property out yet, right?
I think that might have happened like a year ago.
Yes, speak into the microphone.
I think they were approached sometime last year, but that never came
Okay.
through after that.
Well, typically, the reason they do that is obviously because they want a bigger, better, they want to occupy more space. If you don't sell, you don't sell. If I understand you correctly, Felix, correct me if I'm wrong, please, because might be going out on a limb. The proposal is the motel and the mechanic, the blue mechanic building there. They're gonna be gone. And its place is gonna be a Navarro CVS, okay? The park, which is just behind that, just north of, that's going to stay possibly refurbished a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually going to become a park. So you're going to have a park that's open to the public. There's going to be parking for that, and you're going to have, an enhanced. You're going to have a dog park that we're going to do a contribution, so you can have a dog park there, and you're also going to have, a nice entrance feature, where it's going to connect the whole site. You kind of have this little park area that's fenced off and nobody could go into. You also have the area where the city has like a statue of Simón Bolívar, I believe.
Don Quixote.
Don Quixote,
Santa Claus.
Don Quixote. And so, but they're disconnected, right? So now by this, you're going to kind of connect this public area together, but it's got nothing to do with your property. Yeah, we're not touching your property.
If
And I-
anything, it
and I
might
can give
even
you the-
increase the value of your property.
Yeah, it'll beautify the area. It's gonna bring
Yeah.
new street parking. It's gonna bring a watchful eye of the residents in the area. They're gonna want to keep it up.
You want the site plan for you could have that.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, and thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
addressing-
Thank you.
clarifying.
Right.
Thank you.
No problem.
Anyone else in the audience? Is there anyone in the electronic audience? No? All right.
Close the
Motion
part
to
of the public
approve.
hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve with conditions.
Second that motion?
Motion by Mr. Casanova, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Mr. D. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mr. Gamon,
Yes.
Mr. Casanova.
Yes.
Item has been approved.
Thank you. Thank you.
2 for 1? 2 for 1? Okay.
The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the City Council at its scheduled meeting of Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. Item number 4 has been withdrawn to be re-advertised,
Okay.
so no action. Continue to item number 5. Variance permit to allow the construction of a new medical center on property zone C2, Liberal Retail Commercial District, that is 7 stories in height, where 3 stories are the maximum allowable height, and to allow 725 parking spaces where 768 parking spaces are required. Property is located at 1475 West 49th Place, Hialeah Zone C2, Liberal Retail Commercial District. Applicant, Larkin Community Hospital, Palm Springs Campus.
Name and address, please.
Carlos Espinosa, 55 Arvida Parkway, Gable State, 33156.
Thank you, sir. You'll read it into the record and we'll talk about it.
The property in this application is the Larkin Hospital site located on West 49th Place, north of West 14th Lane. The property has major institutions land use and C2 zoning. In 2019, City of Hialeah, Florida Ordinance 2019-093 granted a conditional use permit to allow the continued operation of the hospital and future building addition and or expanded uses. The hospital campus includes 4 folio numbers and totals 14.44 acres. The 3-story hospital building has 63,826 square feet and 247 beds and is located towards the west side of the site. A 7-story, 38,000 square feet medical office building is located towards the southeast side of the site. There is an abundant landscaped open space and a surface parking lot, including 510 parking spaces, 135 spaces more than what is required. At this time, the applicant is before the city with a proposal to build an additional medical office building with an area of 161,300 square feet and 7 stories. The proposed building will be located at the southeast area of the campus and will be surrounded by a new surface parking lot, including 215 parking spaces. To be able to build the proposed building, the applicant is requesting a variance to allow a 7-story building where 3 stories is the maximum allowed to allow 725 parking spaces where 768 are required. The 7-story building height could be allowed because the campus already has an existing 7-story building. The increased height is compatible with the area since the adjacent property to the east is a 5-story apartment complex and the neighboring properties to the south are mostly commercial where the increased height will not create a negative impact. As for the parking deficit is just 6%. And because the site has a large amount of parking, the deficit could be easily managed with valet parking if needed. In addition, the hospital is in an area that is well served by transit, including the Flamengo and Marlin City circulators, Freebie and Metro Bus, contributing to a lessened parking demand by employees, patients, and visitors. Recommendation approval.
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
What should I do here? Should I talk? Okay, basically we are building a brand new medical facility, state of the art. We're gonna become one of the biggest medical center with a surgical center. Specifically, we're gonna have diagnostic center, clinics, all kind of stuff. We're gonna increase, that would be towards all the community, not only for the elderly people, only that is gonna be for everybody. And also we're gonna become one of the biggest surgical center for emergency in Dade, Broward, and Hialeah. We're gonna be beneficiating from the hospital to us and vice versa. We're gonna bring 790 to 792 new employee to work for us on the first phase, and the second phase, we're gonna bring 231 more for a total of 1,000 something new employees from the city of Hialeah.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Just a curiosity, okay? And my information could be a little bit dated. Are you still gonna keep that little outdoor park recreation area that you have to the southwest?
That will be El Bohío.
I'm sorry?
That will be El Bohío.
El Bohío.
Yeah.
Okay, because, and the reason I'm asking that is because when I take that road back there as a shortcut, when 49th Street is back to back. And I do see people there exercising, doing their thing.
That will become El Bohío,
El Bohío.
meaning we're gonna have we're gonna do better. It's gonna be people exercising,
Right.
of course, but also we're gonna put lights, extremely floating, the whole shenanigans. We're gonna do the landscaping is gonna be awesome, and there is gonna be roads all highlight so people can go there, exercise. One of the things that we're gonna do is to increase the education for everybody to exercise and do stuff at the center after hours and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do understand that particular spot is not elaborate at all. It's just a couple of little
Yeah,
pieces of
yeah.
structures,
Yeah,
and a couple of
nothing
tables and
crazy.
whatnot. But I do see people using it. When
Yeah.
I drive by there, I do see people using
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
frequently.
yeah.
So I was just curious if that was still.
And
gonna be
also
available.
we like I said, we're gonna increase the machines. We're gonna increase. I've been doing this for the last 35 years. I built Wellmax Medical Center, Health Sun, the HMO. And one of the things that we throw out there is that we want to educate the community, do more exercise, eat healthy. We're gonna have a lot of fairs, healthy fairs and stuff like that, going every weekend on site,
And this particular parcel will still be open to the public at large.
of course.
That's, again, my curiosity.
Larking is an open door facility.
It probably has nothing to do with your application, but like I said,
No, I like it.
it's, I've noticed it. Every time I drive
One
by
of the
there,
first thing that I did was, I want that there. I want to do better.
works for me.
And for me too.
Comments or questions? Anyone in the audience have a comment or question? Anyone in the electronic audience? Closest to part of the public hearing, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Gamon, second by Mr. Casanova. Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mr. Ramon,
Yes.
Mr. D. Perez,
Absolutely.
Mr. Casanova,
Yes.
item has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Miscellaneous items not requiring advertising. Item number 6, old business. No old business. Item number 7, new business.
Yeah, I have a comment. I would like to extend my deepest apologies to my colleague here that I missed your shindig last night for official Lazaritos Day in Hialeah. Congratulations. I wanted to make it official.
Thank
I'm sorry I missed it, but
It's okay.
you know,
That's all right. You were there.
I'll look forward to catching it next time.
You got it.
All right. Any more new business?
No.
Nope.